Hi there guys, it's Tim Allwood here with another Live at 5 in Queensland, that is, Live at 5 Queensland time, and in the southern states it's now 6 o'clock. I tell you what we're going to do. Next week we're going to hit for the 5:55 in the southern states and 5 to 5 Queensland. I like the idea of the fives, it's a powerful number, so we need to redeem ourselves. Eden was left the tripod somewhere today, so that's why we're a little bit late. But next week 5:55 for southern states and 5 to 5 for Queenslanders. Anyway, in Queensland's time. So today we're talking about there's two parts to our presentation. Stick around because at the back end we've got a really special offer for everyone. And but before I get into what's coming up in today's session, what's happened just of late, we've had the Coolangatta Gold here on the Gold Coast with Ali Day and Georgia Miller presiding there, winning away. Well done to them guys. And last weekend, of course, we had the Roosters just all conquering and well-deserved winners. And of course, they come from behind, West Coast Eagles. Fantastic. And we had the Craig Lowndes yesterday as well. I enjoyed watching that win. So we're really having a good time with the sport, and the weather's getting better all the time. So let's move on now to what our heading is. It's all about our topic of the day. Now, actually, as we go on to that, one, if you're watching live, and two, if you're watching in review, that really does help us out. And if you've got any comments, you want to ask the question, please do so, and we'll get that answered. And so, rent vesting. And like I said, this might not be your cup of tea, but please hang around, we've got something for you at the end of this. So rent vesting, what is rent vesting? Well, it's basically where you live where you want to live and you invest correctly using the system, which is the taxman and the tenant, to create the quickest way to get to wealth is by doing this system, rent vesting. A lot of people are doing it now. It's very popular with the younger generation because they're understanding that they want to live where they want to be, and they want to use the system. We come from an era, or I do anyway, where my parents was all about playing safe, get a good job, get yourself a house, get yourself in debt so you can pay it off, you know. And that's unfortunately in our DNA now, where a lot of people my age in their 40s and 50s are still stuck in that rut. And the rut of non-deductible debt. People are drowning in non-deductible debt. Now, what's non-deductible debt? When you get paid, let's say you're on $100,000 a year, okay? $100,000 a year, you're paying about $25,000 or more to taxman, okay? So you only got $75,000 to spend. So with that, after tax dollars, you use that to pay off your mortgage, okay? That's not as efficient. Now, it's not the worst case scenario because people who have their own house pay it off over the years. They can use the equity as it goes along. It creates a lot more value than what they owe, and it's a successful way to go. And certainly you need to be doing that at least. But as I say, the most efficient way is to be a rent vestor, where you live where you want to live. You're in the... there we go, that's a funny caption. You can swag that in. Where you're taking advantage of the system, where you might want to live in a certain suburb because you enjoy the beach, or you want to have your child go to a certain school, so you live in that suburb. You know, there's a lot of reasons why you might want to live where you want to be, and predominantly it's cheaper to rent. Okay, but my DNA tells me, oh no, but I'm paying off someone's house, other's house. But if you use the system, the taxman and the tenant, we have modelling to sort this out so you can see how powerful it is. So if it's hard to get it through in this one presentation, but that's the way to go. Now, it's an unfortunate fact that 73% of people in Australia will fail to successfully plan for their retirement. That's a government statistic, and it simply tells us that the old way of doing it with non-deductible debt is not the right way for a lot of people, because the bank will encourage you to get your house, your home loan, then they'll encourage you to get 2 car loans, then there'll be a boat loan, then there'll be a holiday loan and credit cards. Okay, what happens next is they'll do a refinance. so you're in better shape than what you were. You were drowning before. You get yourself in better shape, and then what you do predominantly is buy a bigger house to keep up with the Joneses, whatever. Buy a bigger boat, and you're forever. All those things I mentioned: holidays, credit cards, boats, cars, non-deductible debt. You do need to have wealth creation strategies. That's using the system, the tax man and the tenant, which is proven. It's easy to do. And if you're a rent investor, you take full advantage of that. The idea is you would end up with a number of properties, and when you wanted to buy a house where you wanted to settle down, you could actually sell one or two properties and then buy something where you're not spending all that non-deductible debt. Okay? If you went all the way through and rented all the way through your life and end up with multiple properties, you can transition that into retirement through the super funds and whatnot. Yes, there's some capital gains tax to be paid, but you can negate that with a proper strategy into the superannuation system, which there are professionals out there to talk to you about. Where are we now, Eden? Okay, so what do you have to do to become a rent investor? Is you're going to need some good income. That always helps, okay, because you've got a good cash flow. You're going to need to stick to the plan, because along the way, you're outside the norm. People are going to say, oh, why are you renting? Oh, you're paying off someone else's house, you know. So you've got to stick to your guns. You're going to have to put up with the landlord. Potentially that might want to move you on because he wants to do something to the house, whatnot. So you might have to do a bit of moving around. Ultimately, the best way for a rent investor to be would be living at home off mum and dad, or share accommodation or whatnot. But so you've got to stick to the plan. You've got to have a good deposit, okay, because you're not going to have equity until you get into the system. So you've got no equity because you haven't got a principal place of residence. So you're going to need a good deposit. Either you save that deposit, win the deposit, inherit a deposit, don't steal it, that's not good. Get a deposit. Now there is, if you've got anyone in your life that loves you, like your mum or dad, there's such a thing as a limited parental guarantee. They can actually take some of their equity or what they own out of the house and give it to you as a limited parental guarantee. That might be $50,000, $80,000, but the thing is for your parents, it's limited risk, which means if you go out and go crazy and you've got your investment property and you stuff it up, you know, you get into substance abuse, whatever you get up to on the weekend, and you all fall apart, they're only limited to the $50,000 or $80,000 they've given you. And as your place goes up in value, you pay them back. Okay, so it's all fair, and it's a thing that a lot of banks have now, the limited parental guarantee. So that's a way for someone who's keen to take advantage of the system. If they look at the modelling that we can show you, it is the absolute quickest and one of the most proven wealth strategies around. Okay, what else we got here? If you want to know more about how to do this, simply inquire, because we're here. Everyone's circumstances are different, and rentvesting, I should say, might not be good for you. Well, we can determine that along with your other professionals. You use your accountants and whatnot, and your finance specialists. So, where are we going now, Ian, with that? Okay. That's what we did this very hurriedly and very quickly. So now for the reward for you guys. We've had a referral program for quite a while, where if you refer someone to Compass, we give you a gift voucher. Okay, and we get a lot of referrals now. It's fantastic, but we want to take it to the next step, because we want people, because people enjoy what we do. They enjoy the product, they enjoy the service, they actually enjoy the way they feel. Because once you get involved with us at Compass, you'll be a successful, happy investor, and that's what's important. So many people refer to us, and if you haven't referred and you want to refer, our new system's out. You're going to find out all about it, existing clients, and if you want to know, just be in touch. But we're giving all people that give referrals, we're actually going to give you a voucher for a fine dining experience in Sydney, Melbourne, wherever it might be, Brisbane, worth $500. Okay, now that's all you can eat for $500. It's all you can drink. It's all you can eat and drink. It's at a really, really fine restaurant, because quite often you'll take your partner with you or your family. $500, you don't often get that to spend on yourself. But here's the kicker: we'll also be giving that to the person that goes ahead. Now, to get that, you've actually got to qualify where you refer someone who actually does buy a property. So it just can't be people you meet at the bus stop. So you yourself who gave the referral will pick up the $500 fine dining experience, and so will the person that bought. Now we weren't doing that before, and I thought, well, we're having a bit of a brainstorming session, and I consider it to be un-Australian. So where one person benefits from the other person. So we've now put it across the board. It's going to cost us more money, but I think more happy times and probably more referrals, because we just love looking after our clients. And so there you go. That's the special offer. If you want to refer someone, be in touch. I'll handle most of the referrals myself, because we treat it with respect. And just because you refer someone, they might have the capacity, but they might not want to go ahead just yet. But sometime down the track they will. So if they do, there's a fine dining experience for both parties. Boom, boom. All good. Okay, so like I said before, if you're watching live, you can give us a 1, give us a 2 if you're watching in review. Any questions, let us know. And I think that's about a wrap. Eden, all good? Thumbs up from behind. So have a great week, be safe, and we'll talk soon. Take care. Bye for now.